Hey Kim, so I'm going to go over a recap over the last 3.5 months of training. So basically, I created this little checklist on the top left corner to basically show all of the things each week that are to be completed. And each week we don't get to everything, but always think to yourself, the more I complete and get better at, the more results I'm going to get. And then think to yourself, what are the goals that I really want for myself? Why did I begin? What is my why? And what are my goals? So a good thing to do is actually write that out, write those two things out. What are my goals and why do I need this and want this? And almost set it out like on your desk or right next to your bed or somewhere that you would see it easily every day, and start to manifest that and use it as a reminder. Okay, so you did 6 out of 11 check-ins. You did 31 food logs. And you did 2 photo updates out of 6. And you did 3 measurement updates and 3 weight entries out of 12. And 11 out of 12 gratitude sheets, which is really good. And with your workouts, I'm not sure how many workouts you've completed, unless you specifically told me I didn't get in all of my workouts this week, but I'm not really sure on the exact number of that. But out of 3 workouts a week, I hope that you're doing all 3, especially because in this journey, we are building muscle and also doing our weekly cardio, but we're also building muscle, because building that muscle foundation is the most important thing with changing your body composition and changing your metabolism and creating long-term fat loss. So obviously the goal for every human body is to get to a point where your body composition has more muscle than body fat. So a lot of times people start out the opposite, and we want to switch it to the opposite with having more muscle than body fat. And you'll continuously start to burn more body fat at rest when you have more muscle built. But we are at the phase of building that muscle. So in order to do that, we have to do all of our workouts, and I want to increase your workouts to 4 days a week, and they're always going to be around 30 minutes. So just think of it as 2 hours of workouts in your whole week. So totally doable, you're totally able to fit that in your week, but they're going to be split up into 4 different days with 4 different workouts around 30 minutes a piece, because I want to do your upper body resistance and your lower body resistance. And I also want to do 2 cardio days. So in accordance with that, I want to make sure that we hit 1,500 calories a day, at least. I know some days that you have are hard to hit a higher calorie mark, and just make it a goal of if it's a day where you're having a hard time eating, think about those higher fat items, which are going to be higher calorie, which are going to increase your overall calories for the day. So I gave you that food list of those higher fat foods. I'm actually going to add a few more things to it, which should really help with getting in more calories. So on the days that you feel like, I just can't eat a lot today, think about those higher fat foods, but also think about your proteins as well. So think about getting in like 5 fat servings and 5 protein servings, and you should have a solid day with calories and hitting your protein. So the more calories and the more protein within that you hit every day, the more you're able to build that muscle. So we don't want to put in the work with doing the workouts, but not maximizing our results and building that muscle with not having enough food. So we want to maximize our results and get the most out of our efforts with fueling that and building that muscle with our nutrition, with our food. So always focus on higher fat foods and getting in your protein. So, okay. So I want to give you a little exercise. And in the last training module, I sent, actually it was 2 training modules ago. And also, if you haven't watched all of the training modules, you can go back into your email and just type in training module and they should all pop up. And if you haven't watched some of them, take time to watch some of the ones that you haven't watched. And I made a checklist of all of the training modules. So you can kind of go down the list and say, oh, I haven't watched that one. I have watched this one. I have watched this one. I haven't watched that one. And use it as a checklist to kind of go back and go through. But 2 training modules ago, I sent out a video on tips on form and movement, and also I put in an exercise in there to have you record a few of your workouts just so you can get a really good idea of how your form is. So when we do resistance workouts, we're obviously picking up dumbbells. So a good way to check your form to see if you're maximizing your results to the fullest with having good form is to check your form in a video. And you can just take a few short clips of a few different exercise moves and really get a good idea of where your form's at. And if your form is off, it can not work the muscle as much as you want to, and it can also create a risk of injury because you're not moving the right way and you can pull something. But we want to work our muscles to the maximum that we are. So with doing that, having good form, we will maximize our results and maximize